This story is quoted from an article that appeared in the Arizona Republic newspaper on April 6, 1909. The country west of McDowell brings up, naturally, a little history of the Lost Dutchman mine, which has probably caused more sleepless nights and more tramping over hills and through canyons than any pot of gold that was ever buried at the foot of any rainbow. The story of the Lost Dutchman mine is legendary, or at least it has come to be so, but it was of such recent origin 8 years ago that it was believed to be true. At any rate, it is supposed to be a rich treasure buried in the mountains someplace to the east and north of Mesa. 8 years ago, next September, 2 prospectors were looking over the ground in the vicinity of the present location of the LeBaron claims when they ran upon an abandoned tunnel. When they first discovered the tunnel, they were of the opinion that it was the Lost Dutchman mine, and as they pushed their way through the dense underbrush at the opening and began an investigation of the rock, they could hardly believe their eyes. They were literally surrounded with what they believed to be gold. They worked through the night and all the next day, staking out claims and packing up ore. It was about this time that D.M. LeBaron and Frank Pomeroy, who were also suspicious that the Lost Dutchman mine might be in the vicinity while they were in search, ran upon the 2 men who had the sure thing. The men in possession of the rich mine were nearly crazed with excitement. Their clothes were torn to shreds, and their arms and legs bleeding. Their eyes were sunken from the loss of sleep and the lack of nourishment. However, they believed themselves so rich that they offered to give a share to the newcomers. It was but a short time until the newcomers, Mr. LeBaron and Mr. Pomeroy, were greatly excited, and they believed that they also were part owners in the famous Lost Dutchman. The excitement spread, and in a few days the country was alive with prospectors. At the evening, the lights from campfires could be seen on every hillside. The news spread to Tempe, Phoenix, and to Mesa, and the crowds increased. It is estimated that at the end of the week, no less than 500 prospectors were on the ground. Then the bubble burst, and the discovery was made that the gold was nothing more than pyrites of iron, or more commonly known as fool's gold. It's a queer fact that old-time prospectors could be deceived and whirled into the excitement, but nevertheless the contagion spread and they became part of it. For it is recent history, the finding of the Lost Dutchman mine, and still the Lost Dutchman mine has never been found.